ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 20. Saunaka Mahim Pratishtam Adhyasya Saute Swayam Bhuvo Manuhum Kani Anvatistad Dvarani Margaya Vara Janmanam. Sri Saunaka inquired, O Suta Goswami, after the earth was again situated in its orbit, what did Swayambhuva Manu do to show the path of liberation to persons who were to take birth later on? Shatta Mahabhagavatah Krishnasaikantika Sruhrit Yas Tatya Jagrajam Krishne Sapatyam Aghavan Iti. Saunaka Rishi inquired about Vidura, who was a great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, who gave up the company of his elder brother because the latter, along with his sons, played tricks against the desires of the Lord. द्वैपायनाद् अनवरो महित्वे तस्य देहजः सर्वात्माना स्थितः कृष्णं तत् परां चापि अनुव्रतः. Vidura was born from the body of Vedavyasa and was not less than he. Thus he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna wholeheartedly and was attached to his devotees. किम् अन्वपृच्छन् मैत्रेयं विरजास्तीर्थसेवया उपगम्य कुशावर्त आसीनं तत्त्ववित्तमम्. Vidura was purified of all passion by wandering in sacred places, and at last he reached Hardwar, where he met the great sage who knew the signs of spiritual life, and he inquired from him. Saunaka Rishi therefore asked, what more did Vidura inquire from Maitreya? तयो संवदतो सूत प्रवृत्ता हि अमलाय कथाः आपो गंगा इवागग्निर् हरेर्पादाम्बुजाश्रयाः. Saunaka inquired about the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. There must have been many narrations of the spotless pastimes of the Lord. The hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the waters of the Ganges, for it can purify one from all sinful reaction. तानः कीर्तयः भद्रं ते कीर्तनयोदारकर्मणः रसज्ञः को न तृप्येत हरिलीलामृत पिबन्. O Suta Goswami, all good fortune to you. Please narrate the activities of the Lord which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of a devotee can be saturated by hearing the nectarian pastimes of the Lord? एवम् उग्रश्रवाः पृष्ठा ऋषभिर्नैमिषायनैः भगवती अर्पिताध्यात्मस्तानाः श्रूयताम् इति. On being asked to speak by the great sages of Naimisharanya, the son of Romaharshana, Suta Goswami, whose mind was absorbed in the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, said, please hear what I shall now speak. सूत उवाच हरेर्धृतक्रोधतनो स्वमायया निशम्य घोरोद्धरणम् असातलात् लीलं हिरण्याक्षम् अवज्ञाय हतं संजाता हर्षो मुनिमाह भारतः. Suta Goswami continued, Vidura, the descendants of Bharata, was delighted to hear the story of the Lord, who, having assumed by his own divine potency the form of a boar, had enacted the sport of lifting the earth from the bottom of the ocean and indifferently killing the demon Hiranyaksha. Vidura then spoke to the sages as follows. Vidura uvacha प्रजापतिः पतिः हृत्वा प्रजासर्गे प्रजापतीन् किम् आरभत मे ब्रह्मन् प्रभुः अव्यक्तमार्गवित्. Vidura said, since you know of matters inconceivable to us, tell me, O holy sage, what did Brahma do to create living beings after evolving the Prajapatis, the progenitors of living beings? ये मरीचि विप्रा यस्तु स्वायम्भुवो मनुः ते वै ब्रह्मण आदेशात् कथम एतद् अभावयन्. Vidura inquired, how did the Prajapatis, such progenitors of living entities as Marichi and Swayambhuva Manu, create according to the instruction of Brahma? And how did they evolve this manifested universe? सद्वितीयाः किम् असृजन् स्वतन्त्रा उत कर्मसु आहोस्वित् संहता सर्व idam sma samakalpayan. Did they evolve the creation in conjunction with their respective wives? Did they remain independent in their action, or did they all jointly produce it? Maitreya vacham daivena durvikaryena parena nimishena cha jadakshobhat bhagavato mahan asid gunatrayat. Maitreya said, when the equilibrium of the combination of the three modes of nature was agitated by unseen activity of the living entity by Mahavishnu and by the by Mahavishnu and by the force of time, the total material elements were produced. Rajah Pradana Mahatas Trilingo Daiva Choditat Jataha Sasarja Bhutadir Viyad Adini Panchasaha. As impelled by the destiny of the Jiva, the false ego, which is of three kinds, evolved from the Mahat Tattva, in which the element of Rajas predominates. From the ego, in turn, evolved many groups of five elements. तानि चैकैकस स्रष्टुम् असमर्थानि भौतिकं सम्यहत्य दैवयोगेन हैमम् अंडम अपासृजन्. Separately unable to produce the material universe, they combined with help of the energy of the Supreme Lord and were able to produce a shining egg. So असयिष्टाब्धि सलिले आण्डवकोशो निरात्मकः साग्रं वै वर्षसाहस्रम् अन्ववास्ति तं ईश्वरः. For over 1000 years, the shiny egg lay on the waters of the causal ocean in the lifeless state. Then the Lord entered it as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. तस्य नाभेरभूत् पद्मं सहस्रकोरो दीदिति सर्व जीवनिकायौको यत्र स्वयं अभूत् स्वरात्. From the navel of the personality of Godhead Garbhodakashayi Vishnu sprouted a lotus flower effulgent like 1,000 blazing suns. This lotus flower is the reservoir of all conditioned souls, and the first living entity who came out of the lotus flower was the omnipotent Brahma. So anuvishto bhagavata yasete salilasaye loka samstham yata purvam nirmame samstaya swaya. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is lying on the Garbhodaka ocean, entered the heart of Brahma, Brahma brought his intelligence to bear, and with the intelligence invoked, he began to create the universe as it was before. Sasarja Chayaya ससर्ज छायया विद्यां पञ्चपर्वाणम् अग्रतः तामिश्रम् अंधतामिश्रम् तमो मोहो महातमः. First of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of ignorance of conditioned souls. They are five in number and are called Tamishra, Andatamishra, Tamas, Moha, Maha, Moha. विससर्जात्मनः कायं नाभिनन्दं तमोमयं जघ्रुर्यक्ष रक्षसां रक्षांसि रात्रिं क्षुत्कृत् samudbhavam. Out of disgust, Brahma threw up the body of ignorance, and taking this opportunity, Yakshas and Rakshasas sprang for possession of the body, which continued to exist in the form of night. Night is a source of hunger and thirst. Shut त्रुड्भ्याम् उपसृष्टास्ते तं जग्धुम् अभिदुर्ध्रुवहो मा रक्षतानैनं wait मा रक्षतायैनं जक्षध्वम् इति ऊच श्रुतृत् अर्दिताः. Overpowered by hunger and thirst, they ran to devour Brahma from all sides and cried, "Spare him not, eat him up." देवास्तान् आह संविघ्नो मामां जक्षत राक्षस रक्षत अहो मे यक्ष रक्षांसि प्रजा यूयं बभूवित. Brahma, the head of the demigods, full of anxiety, asked them, "Do not eat me, but protect me. You are born from me and have become my sons. Therefore, you are yakshas and rakshasas." देवताः प्रभयायाय दिव्यन् प्रमुखतो सृजत् ते आहार्षुर्देवयन्तो विस्तृतां तां प्रभाम् अहः. He then created the chief demigods who were shining with glory of goodness. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daylight, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it. देवो देवं जघन जघनतः सृजति समाति सॉरी देवो देवान् जघनतः सृजति स्माति लोपान् त एनं लोलुपतया मैथुनायाभिपेदिरे. Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation. ततो हसन् स भगवान् असुरैर्निरपत्रप्यैः अन्वीयमानस्तत्रसा क्रुद्धो भीतः परपतत्. The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless Asuras close up upon him, he grew indignant and ran in great haste out of fear. स उपव्रज्य वरदं प्रपन्नार्ति हरं हरिं अनुग्रहाय भक्तानाम् अनुरूपात्मा darshanam. He approached the personality of Godhead, who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees, and of those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. पाहि मां परमात्मस्ते प्रेषणे प्रेषणेनासृजं प्रजाः ता इमायभितुं पापा उपाक्रामन्ति मां प्रभो. Lord Brahma, approaching the Lord, addressed him thus: "My Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by an appetite for sex and have come to attack me. त्वम् एकः किल लोकानां क्लिष्टानां क्लेशनाशनः त्वम् एकः क्लेशदस्तेषाम् पदां तव." My Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony on those who never resort to your feet. So, ava, sovadharas, sorry. So avadharasya karpanyam viviktadhyatma darshanaha vimunchatma tanum ghoram ityukto vimochaha. The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. तां क्वचन चरणाम्बुजां मद विह्वललोचना लोचनां काञ्चीकलाप विलसद्दुकूलचन्न रोदसम्. The body given up by Brahma took the form of evening twilight when the day and night meet, a time which kindles passion. The asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of rajas, took it for a damsel whose lotus feet resounded with tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth, over which shone a girdle. Hare Krishna. I'll cover the remaining part tomorrow, and let's go through this from the purpose of Prabhupada. So here we are coming to the chapter 20, which is the questions of Vidura. Vidura is asking Maitreya, and Maitreya is narrating what happens. This is in continuation after we know that once upon a time the planet Earth was made lose its balance and it was entered into the nether worlds, and then Lord who came in the form of Varaha, he has come up, he has energized it and made this again float in the respective orbit. After that, now the question is asked, Saunaka, the rishis, yeah, the who assembled in the Naimisharanya forest, they are hearing to Suta Goswami and they asked, can you please tell me, I'm sure that when Vidura and Maitreya, two great personalities, have met, definitely they would have spoken many, many spiritual subjects about the Lord. Can you please continue to tell? And in that spirit, here we can see Vidura is asking, Maitreya Rishi and Vidura. Vidura's qualification, yeah, is highlighted here. Vidura qualification was that he was not only a friend of the Lord, but also a great devotee. As a devotee, Vidura showed by example that anywhere that Krishna is not honored is a place unfit for humiliation. Sorry, for human habitation. This is in the purport 2. So here the word Agavan is very significant, for it indicates that Kauravas hmm, lost the war because of being sinful in disobeying the instructions of Krishna. And it goes further, we know that Vidura is born to the Shudra mother. But of course, the father is Vedavyas, and it said Vidura is not less than his own father, who is capable of such a wisdom. Vidura was also a great personality, and that's why Vidura is always addressed as Mahatma, Mahatma Vidur. Vidura was also a great personality. He accepted Krishna as his worshipable Lord and followed his instructions wholeheartedly. So we can see that Vidura was a friend, and not only, yeah, okay, one may think, oh, he's a family member, he's a friend, he loves Krishna. No, but he also serves Krishna wholeheartedly. Mm. And then Vidura was purified of all passion by wandering in sacred places. This is another very important tip for sadhakas. What is it? When we want to accrue a very huge amount of spiritual piety or strength or blessing or mercy, whatever we call, the easy one is to go for a proper Tirtha Yatra. That's why it's so nice when all of us can make yatras to these holy places. And of course, when we go there, we want to absorb ourselves so much to absorb what devotees did in these places. And here Vidura, who was traveling all those places, yeah, he accumulated so much. And Prabhupada writes in the pulpit, in India there are hundreds of sacred places of pilgrimages, of which Prayag, Hardwar, Vrindavan, Rameshwar are considered principal, uh, and of course we call them as Char Dham. After leaving from his home, which was full of politics and diplomacy, Vidura wanted to purify himself by traveling to all the sacred places. So we should also see how we can accommodate this in our life. We are now very busy with our day to day, so many things, how to make money, how to make our earning, how to make our life settled and everything, but we may get carried away in this. So we should definitely have a proper retirement plan, and as part of the retirement plan we should also have our consciousness already looking towards that okay, after so and so age, whatever is there, let us spend that in traveling the holy places. And of course, traveling in the holy places doesn't mean that we go as a tourist, make photos and selfies, but we go there and see what services we can do, even if it is small or not, or if it is under authority or not authority. I mean, temple management doesn't matter. We will have so many opportunities of serving sadhus who may need food, who may need clothing, who may need so many other things. And one way or the other, when we do the service there, we become part of that, and we can become what we call resident Vrajabasis. Yeah, we can have this when we also live like that, when we start living, understanding them, that. Okay. So, Prabhupada writes, another significant point is that one must go to sacred places not only to take bath there, but to search out great sages like Maitreya and take instructions from them. In fact, Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of Vaishnava sect, has for the present forbidden us to go to such places of pilgrimage because in this age the times have so changed. A sincere person may have different impression on different behavior of present residents. So he recommended instead of taking trouble to travel, one should concentrate his mind on Govinda and that will help him. So this means if one either financially or circumstantially he cannot go to holy places, because sometimes in Kali Yuga going to holy place also we may see all faulty, you know, superficial layer. We cannot dive into the holy place. We may not appreciate the value of the holy place and engage in the holy services. I mean, not colorful holy. I'm saying spiritual devotional services. One can, yeah, always absorb in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Coming back to the main line, here after this, there is the purports are very nice. I'm just giving a small glimpse of what Prabhupada is covering in this purports of this chapter. Uh, Tayo Samvado Suta. He's saying, Sonoka inquired from Suta Goswami about Vidura and Maitreya. Uh, and in the purport, Prabhupada, it writes, the hearing of such narrations is exactly like bathing in the waters of Ganges. In the purport, Prabhupada is writing, the water of Ganges is purified because it pours forth from the lotus feet of the Lord. And then it goes further. The water of Ganges, the narration of his pastimes, and words spoken by him are all on the absolute platform. And thus, taking shelter of any one of them is equally good. Sri Rupa Goswami has enunciated that anything in relation with Krishna is on the transcendental platform. So that's why uh, we see that ISKCON, we can see, is practicing Yukta Vairagya. Means anything what we do, we see how we can add Krishna and then make that whole thing perfect. After this, Suta Goswami is saying, all good fortune to you. He's saying to the rishis who were there because they have asked nice topic. And please narrate the activities. Saunaka Rishi is asking, please narrate the activities of the Lord, which are all magnanimous and worth glorifying. What sort of devotee can be saturated by hearing the nectar and pastimes of the Lord? I am sure that we don't find any devotee who says, I heard about it, I don't need to hear anymore. No, a true devotee, a pure devotee is always absorbed. He wants to hear more and more. We may have covered this third canto, this is third time or fourth time, but still we have so much to learn. We want to know more and more. Evam ugra shava prishta vishvibhir naimasharanyai bhagavati arpitadhyatmas tahan aha shruyatam iti. So they want to hear. And then, please, Sudha Goswami, please hear what I shall speak now. That is the basis where now, after the Lord has killed Hiranyaksha, of course, logically, the storyline was Lord coming as Varahadev, he killed Hiranyaksha, and that is the end. And then Lord appears as Nrsimhadev and he kills Hiranyakashipu. But in the middle, what happened was these questions asked by Saunaka Rishi, they wanted to know more what was discussed by Vidura and Maitreya. Let's finish this because we know Nrsimhadev pastime is a conversation between Narada Muni and Yudhishthir. So here we are continuing with the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. Hmm. So after this, प्रजापति पति श्रुत्वा प्रजा सर्ग प्रजापतिन किम आरभात में ब्रह्मन प्रब्रूहि अव्यक्ता मार्गवित. He is saying, please, since you know the matters inconceivable to us, tell me, O holy sage, what did Brahma do uh, to create living beings? And then he is asking, like a science student, he asks, na, how is the creation? Did it happen with wife? Did it happen individually? Did it happen all collectively? This is the questions, and Brahma is Maitreya is saying, Daivena durvitakaryena parenami shena cha jata shobhad bhagavato mahan asid guna traya. Yeah. So once initially when the planet was brought energized, it is in the orbit. Then now the orbit, Earth is ready, because Swayambhu Manu was asking, hey, oh my father, you said everything can be created, expanded, population, but there is no planet Earth. That was the time when Varahadev came, because Brahma was meditating how to, and then a small creature, this boar came from the nose. All this happened. From here we hear continuation. What happened? Hmm? How Brahma created everything. It said, as impelled by destiny of Jiva, first thing what came is the elements, the false ego, which is of three kinds, that evolved. And of course, the predominant matter, material nature, consists of three modes, generate five groups of five. First five group is elementary and consists of earth, water, fire, air, ether. The second group of five is tanmatra, referring to sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. The next five are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And fourth five are speech, hands, feet, anus, and genitals. So in this way, when you count all these are 15. And then co- how many I've said? 5 and 25. So one group of sense objects, one is five elements, one is five sense organs, and another is sense, karmendriya and jnanendriya, and the fifth group of five deities who control these divisions. Means there are gods who rule these particular sense organs. Because so we can see some who is blind, it is not because he doesn't has eye, he has a proper physical eye, but the power to see is ruled by a predominating god. Hmm. I think it's Ashwini Kumara, if I'm, who is that for eyes? I have to check. Is it Ashwini Kumara or anyway, not to guess. So there is one of the devatas who rule that particular organ for its functioning. So, so let me quickly go to the 18th verse, which is very important. Of course, the whole, we know there is this Garbha, what is gold? Shweta, there is this golden shining egg.
Hiranyagarbha.
Hiranyagarbha. Yeah, someone said?
Yes, yes, Hiranyagarbha.
Hmm. There is this Hiranyagarbha, golden shining egg, and which stayed for 1,000 years. And when the Lord entered, then it starts agitating, and then from that, the Lord, from his navel comes Brahma, and from Brahma, how everything came is described. If someone has read Bible, and if they have read the first, which is called Genesis, yeah, you can see how in each day what was created, how it was created, and maybe some may think, hey, this is in line with that. No, but here we can see that how even Brahma was created is mentioned here, from the Lord, and from the lotus everything. When the Supreme Lord was lying in the Garbhodaka ocean, then Brahma brought his intelligence to bear, and then one by one he started creating. And very important is, as I said, 18th chapter, 18th verse, which says, first of all, Brahma created from his shadow the coverings of five ignorance of conditioned souls. Conditioned souls means we who are under the influence of the nature. It means there are first five kinds of coverings. The first one is Tamishra, second is Andatamishra, third is Tamas, then Moha and Mahamoha. In fact, if we want to know each of them, what does it represent, it is very nicely mentioned in the purport. Uh, in fact, I'll give one, or maybe I can quickly go through this. Um, each and every living entity has minute independence. I don't know if Pratik Prabhu is there. It is misuse of that minute independence for the conditioned soul to think that he can also enjoy like the Lord. That is, why shall I not be a free enjoyer like the Supreme Lord? This forgetfulness of his constitutional position is due to anger or envy. The living entity being part and parcel of the servitor of the Lord can never be by constitution be equal enjoy with him. When he forgets this, uh, and tries to be one with him, his condition is called tamishra. That is tamishra. That what state he is in, that is termed as tamishra. Even in the field of spiritual realization, this tamishra mentality of living entity is hard to overcome. Even in spiritual realization, that still sense of, oh, I want to enjoy. Sometimes we may see devotees are doing service. In that service, they want to take credit. Hmm. That is tamishra. And then it is hard to overcome. In trying to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. So, this lower grade mentality of tamishra continues. Andhata Mishra involves considering death to be the ultimate end. Andhata Mishra means, oh, there are some philosophies who says, hey, who has seen next life? It is end. When you're dead, that's end. That is Andhata Mishra's thought, understanding. This Andhata Mishra, ignorance is due to tamas, ignorance. And the condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul is tamas. This material world is also generally called tamas because 99% of its living entities are ignorant of their identity as soul. Huh? And then when we want to know what is moha, thus the idea that I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine also increases, and as the whole world is put into moha. And moha is sectarian society, family, nationality are created and they fight with one another. That is what is moha. Moha and its effects. Maha moha means to be mad after material enjoyment. Especially in the Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali, everyone is overwhelmed by the madness to accumulate paraphernalia for material enjoyment. In Vishnu Puran, it is said, Tamo viveko moha syad antah karana vibhramaha mahamohastu vigneyo gramya bhoga sukhaishana. Maranam hi tamishram krodha uchyate avidya pancha parvaisha Pradurbhuta Mahatmanaha. This is the summary. A person who is having bodily understanding that everything is body, they are in these five states as per Vishnu Puran. And okay, let's go further. So when this happened, when these five kinds of ig- elements came from ignorance, out of disgust, that whatever came, Brahma just we can see if you have seen some magic shows, we may see the person wears one coat, he removes that, there is one more, and he keeps removing. Here we can see a Brahma who is a great personality. Now he thought, oh, this has come from me, so let me remove that kind of covering from me. Out of disgust, Brahma threw off the body of ignorance. And taking this opportunity, immediately what happened? Yakshas and Rakshasas sprang from for possession of the body. Whatever that came, na, that. And then because they took, it came to a form what we call night. So what is night, what is day is what we can see here. Night came. How? And night is dominated by Yakshas and Rakshasas. Night is the source of hunger and thirst. And then what happened? Overpowered by hunger and thirst, they ran to Brahma to eat him. And Brahma said, hey, hey, you fool, you have come from me, do not eat me, but protect me. Huh? And hmm, then, then what happened? Therefore, uh, he said, now you are called as Yakshas and Rakshasas. So Prabhupada writes in the purport saying, what is the difference between Yakshas and Rakshas? Yakshas are the one who are mm, who said that we should eat. Hmm? The ones who said that he should be eaten, Brahma should be eaten, are categorized as Yakshas. And one who said that Brahma should not be protected became Rakshasas. They are man eaters. So these are two categories, and they are born of the mode of ignorance. Therefore, because of their behavior, they are called Rakshasas or man eaters. And now, at least, some relief. Some relief was after he has casted that covering of ignorance, then there was a covering of goodness, yeah, or whatever was there. He then created the chief demigods who were shining with glory of goodness. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daylight, a daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it. So, how did the day come? Is when the devatas took this form from the, yeah, that whatever was left from Brahma, uh, that became day. So, and that's why, in other words, demons like yakshas and rakshasas are born from the quality of ignorance, and the demigods are born of the quality of goodness. Deva Devan Jagannatha. Here we can see this Jagha. It's not Jagan. This is Jagannatha, means from buttocks. Lord Brahma then gave birth to demons. Uh, Adevan, not Deva. Adevan means demons from his back, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lusty, they approached Brahma to have sex. I think in this purport or the next one, I think next one. Yeah, sexually inclined demons have no respect even for their father, and the best policy for a saintly father like Brahma is to leave such demonic sons. And then Brahma left the place. He approached the Lord for protection. He said, Lord, you manifest innumerable transcendental forms for satisfaction of your devotees. Oh, Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam means the person that Lord manifests many forms. And um, mm, mm, mm. And yeah, yeah, again, the purport is giving about how many form, what are nice forms, Ram, Sita, Lakshmi, Narayan, and Darshan. This form of Lord is okay. I leave 25th verse. Please read. It has also some nice points. And Lord Brahma, approaching the Lord, addressed, oh, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by appetite for sex and have come to attack me. Purport. Purport here we can see. And if sometimes you may come across a debatable question, is homosexuality allowed? Huh? Of course, we are in the 21st century. Everything is okay. Women, men are equal. Men are equal. And homosexuality should be allowed or not. I mean, what a big debate is in Vatican City when this came up. Yeah. And anyway, for us, what at least on a Sattvic platform we can understand, it appears here that and purport I'm reading, homosexual appetite for males for either is created in the episode of Demons by Brahma. In other words, the homosexual appetite of a man for another man is demoniac and is not for any sane male in ordinary course of life. Not to end at a bad note, I would just continue reading the last one. My Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony on those who never resort to your feet. So, uh, Lord Brahma is saying, you are the protector of surrendered souls, therefore I surrender to your lotus feet. Please give me protection from these demons. And then the Lord makes arrangement that, okay, He says, leave your body, cast away this impure body of yours. And when He left that, then this demons took the shelter of that, and that became a beautiful lady. Anyway, we'll discuss that tomorrow. Thank you very much. Someone raised a hand. I didn't see who was that, but can lower the hand. Who's that? Hare Krishna. Anyone have any question or would like to add something? Pratik Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, it was a nice understanding for me. One small question, means it's basic question. So this Yaksha, Rakshasas, and so they all are in this world right now, or they used to be in Dharti Lok. They have left right now, or we ourselves, like human, we have demonic and
So we are talking
divine
about
qualities.
not we are not talking about only planet Earth. We are talking about the creation that is in different planetary systems also, because we were reading now when Brahma came out, then what happened? We were here. The description is not just limited to only Earth, yeah, which means the whole creation is happening in different planetary systems, above, below, yeah, all these things. And we can see yakshas have their place, rakshasas. If you I don't know, I'll share with you, there is one nice depiction in which planets, who, what kind of inhabitants are there, because yakshas and rakshasas are subtle in nature. They are in the upper planetary system, yeah.
Okay. Because at the time of, I don't know, even in Mahabharata or at least in Ramayana time,
Hmm.
they were in Earth, right?
Yeah, yeah, they can be in Earth. It's
Okay.
not like they will only be there. They can also be in Earth. See, because they are subtle, they can easily travel between the planets. For us, we are taking heck of time to make arrangements, rockets and all these things, because they are very subtle. Na? The body constitution is subtle. They are more swift in moving. And that's what we can also see pretas. So, no, yeah, we will anyway read next group batch of creation of Brahma, where Kinnaras, there, Gandharvas, Apsaras, how they are created, and all these things. And all this creation is filling the universe, that Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg, and into which Garbhodakashayi Vishnu comes in and everything happens, is populated by different creatures. They take their own positions. That's why we can see if um what yeah, we read about this Tamishra, Antatamishra, yeah, Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha, right? These are five categories, but there are even more. Hmm? But this is just a very brief description of subsidiary, Visarga, which we have already covered in the second canto. Yeah, you remember, right? In the second canto, we were discussing the whole creation, how Mahat Tattva, Pradhana, and all these elements are coming. Here we are again discussing in after this what happened is how Brahma is populating is discussed here.
Yes, Raj.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raj.
I mean, still, I mean, for my capacity, I can definitely not understand in detail how it happened, and after that happened, how it looked. For my capacity, I can't say. And how to understand scientifically, if we, for example, when chemicals come together, we know that the third chemical will come. So that is how we know the creation. Or, of course, because we don't know, then we are also saying Big Bang and other things or other theories. Here, we are not seeing, for us it could still look like a theory, but it's in action, yeah, because we could see that when Brahma did this, he ran to the Lord. And when Brahma created this, when he left his body, so this is not like a physics or chemistry, how things are created to prove that creation happened, but this is how the Lord creates, or Lord's energy through Brahma made a secondary creation. So we are just here, how things evolved, yeah, from Brahma is what we read. Yes, Pratik Prabhu.
Yes, Raj. It's complex. Going deep, yeah.
For me, oh, more than complex. I was
Okay.
thinking each of this verse can become a thesis subject for people who are really interested. They can really dive in. Uh, and of course, for that, they will come up with so many understandings, and how science is not able to answer, and this science could actually get closer, because these are direct words of the Lord. So this should be true. We need to know how to prove this. That's it.
Yes, Raj.
Yeah. Okay. Then thank you very much for joining, and see you tomorrow, 8:30. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.